let's play a little game called Do We Live on Different Sides of the Internet? Because my internet recently has been full of these things called the Zara Death Pants. Yup, dubbed the most dangerous trousers in the world. Now, of course, I am known to be dedicated to on the ground, on the boots on the ground journalism. So I am on my way to a Zara to see just how deadly these pants are. And I thought my best bet, because of course Zara is known for quantity, not quality, is heading to Oxford Street. Because believe it or not, Oxford Street, yep, that's just one street in England, has 4 Zaras on it. So I reckon if I'm gonna have a good chance of trying these trousers on, that way is my best bet. Come with me. The Zara Death Pants, or Zara Death Trousers, if you are British, are these flowy, silky, wide-leg trousers that have been on sale in Zara all spring and summer, and they've been dubbed perfect, they fit very nicely, they're the perfect summer trouser. However, people have started comparing notes, and individuals who thought they were just clumsy falling over their trousers have started to realise it might not be them, it might be the trousers. Hundreds, if not thousands of people have been sharing videos of themselves falling over or pictures of themselves, sometimes in A&E after having horrific falls after wearing these trousers. We're talking fractured bones, getting stuck in escalators, all sorts of shenanigans. And the videos about it are racking up millions of views. Craig, cue the documentary music. So, I tried on the Zara Death Pants, the cursed trousers. They didn't look very good, and I can see how somebody might fall over in them. So I took them off, and I left them in the shop, which I was going to anyway, because I fucking hate fast fashion. And then, as I was coming home, I was walking towards my bus stop, and I fell on my face. Ow. I can't even laugh because it hurts too much. I got a real fucking injury. I fucked my nose up. I scratched up all of my glasses. This is my spare pair of glasses because my other ones are all scratched up. My lip is swollen. All the skin came off here. I've got bruises. I also fucked up my knees. And I haven't face planted like that in decades. Like, that is the worst it has been in a while. While I'm not medically ready to make the rest of this video, I thought I would just document. This is 24 hours afterwards, by the way. There was blood everywhere. I thought I would just document like what happened, because it is kind of like not relevant to the video and at the same time incredibly relevant. I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in curses. Whew. I'm back. I can't believe it got me. The curse got me. I don't believe in curses. The face is looking better, but I'm not gonna lie, it's been about 10 days since the fall. Love that I'm having a fall now rather than just falling over. But I'm not gonna lie, the leg is looking real not pretty. Actually, let's not body shame the leg. The leg is not looking how it was before I entered the Zara. Just saying. I've got yellow and purple bruising from my knee to my ankle, and I currently cannot use my knee for anything. The gash in it is actually like a few layers of skin thick, and it's not healing, but I'm sure I'm just a few more coats of Sudocrem and prayers away from total recovery, and frankly, my minor peril is not the theme of this video. The Zara curse tried to stop this video from happening, but I won't let it. Now, when I first walked into the Zara, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to find these pants. If they're so popular and they come in like 6 colours, are they even gonna be here? But actually, the first Zara I walked into, literally right in front of my eyes, was a rack of these things, 3 colours available, and I took them to the changing room to give them a test drive. However, the Zara was so frantic that I was met with a huge line of people for the fitting rooms, and for the sake of this video, I decided to stay. I was in that line and I timed it for 25 minutes total. 25 British minutes that I stood stoically waiting to try on these bloody trousers that little did I know were about to try and kill me. I had also truly forgotten, because I never go into fast fashion shops anymore, but no, seriously, I don't. I'd truly forgotten the overstimulating, unwelcoming, truly anti-customer experience of fast fashion high street shops. I think that we just don't know until we stop going, but like the overhead glaring, ugly lighting, the insanely insipid, like loud music. Am I just sounding really old? Is this just not suitable for people in their 30s? Discuss. Anyway, it was just really overstimulating, not temperature controlled. I'm sure this is not the workers' fault at all. I completely blame resources and management and planning, but it was a mess. Like, it was a messy, quite like not clean Zara. Even when I did finally get to the front of the queue and try on the trousers, there was just mess strewn everywhere. None of the staff even had time to look or clean my cubicle before I went into it, and it was not looking good. And this is a weekday, by the way. This isn't like a weekend rush. Anyway, that's not the point. The first thing I noticed about the trousers, we could have guessed ourselves. They are quite wide and they are quite long. And as a short lady, this is not an unfamiliar feeling for me to be in a changing room and try on trousers that clearly are going to try and kill me. But these ones were particularly long, I will say that. But the other thing that I noticed that hadn't occurred to me was how unpleasant they felt on my skin. And then I looked at the label and I realised that they were 100% polyester. I was expecting from the pictures on the website for them to be I wasn't optimistic enough for them to be natural fibres, like completely, but I was expecting like a blend or something, or maybe like a viscose blend or a cotton blend. But no, I wanted to try them on for longer and get you some more shots and really elongate this scientific process. But to be honest, I was getting kind of sweaty in them, and I was aware that I wasn't going to buy them, and I felt bad for the person who was going to buy them and be able to smell my sweat. So I tried on the various colours as fast as I could and then swiftly got the hell out of there. Now, on reflection, after trying them on, apart from the fact that I did notice a lot of pooling of the fabric on the inner part of your foot, which would be the bit that causes you to fall over, apart from that, I was just a little bit bemused. I was like, why these trousers in particular are causing people to fall over? I'm not 100% sure. I came up with 3 possibilities, and I wonder if it might be a combination of the 3. The first possibility is skill. Have you noticed, people who are also in their 30s, that we're getting old? And actually, the length of time away from being a teenager just keeps getting further and further into the distance. And it's fair to say that we are of a generation, perhaps, that have known, for better or for worse, how to walk in heels of various sizes. My school shoes had heels for a while. It was the complete norm, expected, would be controversial not to wear high heels to proms, discos, anything like that in Coventry where I grew up. And also, like, when I became like a young adult, heels were the thing that we were wearing when we were going out, and they were like, the bigger the better. It was also just like office core I am a grown-up norm to wear heels in the workplace when I started as well. I remember specifically buying a pair of like high heels, like 2 or 3 inches, to start a new job that I didn't feel qualified for, because that was the thing that I felt like would make me look professional, which I don't think what I would buy. That's not what I would buy now. That was about 10 years ago. I wouldn't buy that now to look professional. Not only because of what I know about my own clumsiness and perchance for peril, but also because I don't think that would be the thing that would make me be perceived as professional in the workplace anymore. Fashions have simply changed, and searches for wide leg trousers this year have rocketed as well, which makes me think, have the kids ever learned how to walk in challenging / dangerous fashion apparel? Just a question, because it's something that I learned from a young age, and I don't think we should have had to. I wore a lot of these really wide leg jeans throughout my teenage years to the floor, would always soak up the rain. But this was what I was practicing in from a young age, walking around. But I wonder if that's the reason, because a lot of these videos are on TikTok where people tend to skew younger. And I'm like, do you just like not have the training? I don't want to go back to that, but like maybe it's a skill level gap, because I have never fallen over in wide leg trousers. Although I did manage to fall over in a skirt that was nowhere near my shoes, and I just fell over my own feet. And we all saw how that worked out. So the second reason might be length. The Zara website lists these trousers, depending on the size that you buy, between 108 and 109 centimeters long. I'm just going to say that again. Between 108 and 109 centimeters long. Do you know what the average length of a woman in the UK is? 162 centimeters long. Do you know how long I am? If you've ever wondered, add this to my Wikipedia page. I am 157 centimeters long. So if I was going to buy these trousers and pull them up to their full extent, I would be, let's do the percentage calculator, why not? I just took the time to work that out, I hope you know. I would be 69.4% trouser. 2/3 of my body would be trousers. Now, general fashion practices mean that people usually use like fit models for their clothes. They'll fit them on one body and get it to walk around and then tweak it a little bit. And that body tends to be taller. Apparently, the average fit model is 178 centimeters long. But apparently also with fast fashion, to save money and time, they don't use fit models anymore. They just use static mannequins. They are fitting clothes for a real human, moving, curved 4D body on what is essentially a waxwork, something that doesn't move or walk around. So is it any wonder that they didn't spot that maybe these trousers would make people trip up? Now, I don't wish injuries on fit models, but I would have rather had 1 or 2 fit models fall over as they were walking around the Zara workshop than whatever the hell casualty mayhem I'm seeing on my feed. And then the third one is kind of the fabric. I thought again about how I noticed that it was polyester, because the thing about polyester is not only is it sweaty, it's kind of clingy, it's static, it's plastic, right? It not only clings to you, if you've ever just worn polyester swingy trousers or a skirt or a top, it clings to you, but it also clings to itself and it creates this static. And instead of it billowing out when you walk and giving you room for your foot to move inside the trouser, it clinging to your ankles, especially when it's too long, is a recipe for you falling over. Anyway, that is actually not what I'm concerned with at all. I actually don't really deeply care exactly what the methodology is behind the ergonomics of so many of us falling over them. I had a lot of time to think, 25 minutes exactly, while I was in the Zara queue, and this is what I was really pondering on. I am literally surrounded by people. It was so busy in that Zara, and it's one of 4 Zaras just on that street alone. So there must be a lot of people coming in and out of this shop. Now, this is not 15 or 17 years ago when I started this channel, I started talking about fast fashion. This is now. We've had best-selling books, chart-topping documentaries about how brands like Zara are not only careless, but downright unethical and dangerous in their practices. This is well documented. This isn't a secret. In the last 10 years, stuff like that has been broadcast on national telly. And we know how serious the impact is. The impact of the fashion industry accounts for 10% of global carbon emissions, which is more than flying, which we panic about a lot, and maritime shipping, which we also panic about, combined. Which is why it is insane to me that flying is so much at the forefront of our conversations around consumerism and the climate. And I was like, I'm sure that people do care. Like, I'm sure that I've seen, not only do I just have like a naive urge that I think that people might care, but I've also definitely seen stats about this. So I went and I researched it and I looked it up, and I found this actual new article that says that 68% of British shoppers say ethical production matters to them. And I was like, if that's true, why is Zara so full? And then I kept reading and I realized that the same study also found that shoppers are willing to stretch to only 8% more, or 80p to every £10 for an ethical or more sustainable option before they default to the cheaper option. And 28% of those people said that they wouldn't pay a penny extra. And I don't blame people as such, because like at the end of the day, they're not the people that have set this system up. They're not the people who are orchestrating this whole thing. And we have an absolutely diabolical cost of living crisis going on in the UK at the moment. The charts would make your eyes water. And it's true that some people are in peril. But I also think this Zara Death Pants phenomenon brings up a really interesting tension between personal peril, falling over and smashing your face open or breaking your wrist or breaking your ankle, and collective peril. Because I know that most of the people in Zara aren't the people who are on the thin end of the wedge of the cost of living crisis. If they were, if that's the majority of people that were in Zara with me that day, the Zaras wouldn't be open. You can't keep a business like that thriving on people who are living below the poverty line, buying essential items like socks and t-shirts and things for work. Like, that's not what's happening here. It's full of people who are doing a little bit better than those people, but not as comfortable as they'd like to be. And they haven't received any messaging around the collective peril that Zara could bring. The poisoned waterways, the effect on health of careless fabric composition, the overall impact of it affecting temperature change in the UK and deaths of people that they might know, microplastics in the water they give their children, like all of these things haven't been communicated to them. And because they are the people that are still getting to go on holiday, and we know that they're being targeted they're targeting the people who are actually still going on holiday and having a very nice time and living more luxury-esque lives in comparison to the people who are really being hit by the cost of living, because the pictures all over Zara's website, even the picture of these trousers, are pictures of people on holiday having a very nice time in exotic places with beautiful backgrounds. Aspirational as that might be, I imagine that a large percentage of the people who go and buy clothes from Zara buy them to wear on holidays they are genuinely going on to places like the backdrops of the Zara pictures. And the thing about the tension between collective peril and personal peril that I think is not connecting for people and didn't used to connect for me when I used to shop fast fashion is that collective peril doesn't mean you don't personally get hurt. Like, it's not like collective peril or personal peril. Collective peril means you get hurt, and at the same time, all of the other people around you get hurt, so there's nobody to help you and get you up off the floor when you trip because everybody else has tripped at the same time. The threat of the Zara Death Pants is personal peril, but another thing I noticed about all of these videos are that there are clips of friends and family helping them to hospital, escorting them, carrying them back when they've broken an ankle. What we're talking about is nobody having resources, everybody being flawed at the same time, including the shoppers, including you, including me. I don't know if you've heard of this thing called the National Emergency Briefing, but it is a briefing of experts of what we can expect from the climate crisis in lieu of the government giving it to us. They have a huge website of resources and facts about what's actually going on, and they're also hosting screenings around the country. I'm hoping to get to one near me soon. The idea being that screening it locally means that you don't have to hear that information on your own, and you can be around people you genuinely live near when you hear about it. And my impression is, as part of the event, they come up with solutions and plans of things that we can do. So I highly recommend you going to one of those. I'm very excited about going to mine. But I think the health section on their website is worth having a little brave glance over if you can, because whilst falling over and hurting yourself isn't on this list, there are lots of things about respiratory health, a rise in disease, heat death. We're looking at 4 billion deaths when we get to 3 degrees of warming. And I think the disconnect here is that British people don't think that's gonna, like, they don't think it's gonna be them. How many people are still buying these trousers thinking that they're not gonna be the person to fall over? How many people are hearing these stats and thinking it's not gonna be them or the people that they love that will be affected? And what annoys me is that I think brands like Zara aren't just ignoring this kind of stuff. They trade on it. They trade on people wanting to feel thrifty, because the feeling of wanting to feel thrifty and saving money and buying things cheaply is inherently a way we look for safety in a cost of living crisis. I try and not be like a knob who judges people who are still regularly going into these fast fashion dens. Let's call them what they are. They're dens, like criminal dens, because they're trying to make themselves feel like the cost of living crisis isn't happening. They're trying to buy as many clothes as they did before, even if that's overconsumption, because they don't want to believe that they don't have as much money as they once did. So they're seeking it out in cheaper and cheaper places. But if being thrifty and saving money and getting things cheaply is seeking safety, Zara offers us anything but. Zara and companies like it are literally putting us in the path of a bulldozer, because I really don't want this video to be aren't Zara shoppers terrible, or aren't the general public evil and silly? It's to say that if you do exist online in the spaces that I do, and you have started to learn a little bit about how fast fashion works, even if you haven't completely weaned yourself off it already, and you see all these documentaries and you hear all these stats online, and then in your real life you're walking past these huge buildings full of people who are still going in and buying all the stuff, and you feel that weird sense of like eerie foreboding, that feeling of disconnect, you are not alone. And I don't want you to feel alone, not because I think it'd be cozy and nice if you didn't feel alone, but because it's not freaking true. Look at the comments of this video, it's not true. And we hate inaccuracy on this channel. The story of the Zara Death Pants truly feels like one of those mystery novels, like an Agatha Christie, where you think something really eerie and supernatural is going on, and like there's a curse happening to the people in the book or in the house that it's set in. But then as the novel goes on, you realize that there's a really logical explanation for all of the weird things that are happening, and it's not a curse. It's a few people making really bad decisions and wanting the worst for some of the other characters in the book. So no, even though I have been hit by the Zara curse of the Death Pants,
I don't believe in curses.
even though I still bear the scars and probably won't be able to kneel or swim for another few weeks, I do not believe this is a supernatural phenomenon. I believe that it has 3 logical explanations: skill, length, fabric, and a symbolic explanation, which is that we are correct in that Zara will cause us to stumble, as the Bible says. But it is not in the slapstick, you've been framed kind of way that we have been seeing on TikTok. Oh no. It is more in a evil Scooby-Doo villain, pin you to the curb and take your resources kind of way. And I, for one, aren't having it. I refuse to accept a future that involves companies like Zara, and even if I can't do anything about it in my small little way apart from talking to other people about it, which by the way is totally doing something about it, but even if I can't, I refuse to live outside of reality. I refuse to act like it's not happening, which is what Zara wants. So the main takeaways here are not shaming people for shopping at Zara. They are, you are not crazy, this is crazy, this whole thing is crazy, and I'm not gonna stop. Calm down.
Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
Don't let them take your reality. You're not weird. This is. 2, keep resisting. If you still shop at fast fashion, I invite you to make slow, manageable changes to step away from that, and this channel and many others on YouTube will help you do that. If you have already done that, I hope that you feel some solidarity through the screen and in the comments, and this video goes some way to help you explain to other people why you are resisting places like Zara. And number 3, and this is the most important one, so you must come close. If you are under 178 centimeters tall, you better be hemming your trousers. So help me God. And if you don't, I will come round there and I will hem them myself. Thank you to the Gumption Club. Frog Snog out.